Wait, is this Payback Friday 6 or 7? Oops. Need to retitle that. Can I retitle it right now? Don't think I can. Oh well, I'll change it after the stream. Hey everybody. Let's see. We got here Jonathan, 09, Ratus, Vlosky, Mixwarp, Mason. What up, guys? Okay, we've already got a donation from Monolos. So let's get started. Freitag. Something's wrong with this. It's like all broken. I think it might be the driver. Let's try MME. Fixed. really, really good. Don't have any feedback, like I wouldn't change anything. I enjoyed the whole thing. Sounds really well mixed. Lovely sound design. Really, really good. Well done. Let's move on. Oh, 09. Where's 09?
No matter what happens, you've got to hang on. Hang on. Hang on. No matter what, hang on.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it was also a really cool track. I think really nice groove and strong core idea. I think where it lacks is in the mix down and a bit of the drum sound selection. So like a lot of the drums sound really dull to me. Like they don't have like a nice full high end on them. Like the kick drum is just this really boxy kind of kick with no high end on it. Like I think if you had a bit of a transient on there, it would it would just feel nicer. And same thing with the rest of the drums. They kind of really simple sounding. I think if you like saturated them and like spread them out and got them like nice and big, then it would sound really strong. The other thing is, and I think this is probably the biggest thing, is your bass line. I'm trying to like look at it in the waveform, but to me it sounds like it has like zero release on it. So it's like it's too staccato, like it's almost like this jerky feeling. Where if it had a bit of a fade on the release, then it would flow a lot nicer, and you would still have the groove of the bass, but it wouldn't be like these blocks of bass. It would be like more of a dynamic shape. So yeah, I think make it more of like a plucky shape with a bit of a decay on it and a bit of release. But otherwise, I mean, the actual composition of the song is really cool, I think. I enjoyed it. It was nice and groovy. Okay, next one. Ataku.
All right.
Okay, so things I really like about this, I love the bass pluck that you have. Like it sounds like just the perfect kind of shape on the envelope, like a nice release on it, and it's got like a nice growly feel to it, like a nice gritty high end on it, and it's really dynamic. It's moving a lot. Really like that. I think the kick and the clap are also nice. I really like this section here. I think that's my favorite section. This section over here felt a little like I just wanted to get past it. Like the bass is nice there, but like the pads and stuff just feel a little, compared to the rest of the track, a little amateur, kind of plain, and I don't know. And I'm also not too sure about the 303 kind of one shots in there. I don't know if they fit. And the other thing I'm not so sure about is like this section. It kind of just feels like a separate idea. I don't know. I almost think like just do away with that section and then go from this into a breakdown and then into that section. I also like the lead here, this one. I think that was pretty much all the notes I had on this one. You can keep the 303 sounds in there. They don't like completely not fit. I think it's kind of like an element that if you took it out, I wouldn't care. And if you kept it in, I also just don't really think it's either improving or making the song worse, basically. It's just there. All right. Let's move on. Feedback has tipped. Oh, wait, I think you said in the chat that you named yourself Feedback by mistake. Where are you? Feedback, what's your name? I don't know where your message has gone now. Oh, Alex Keeper. Okay, yeah, it's all really nice. Not completely like my preference in style. It feels a little too, I don't know, almost like commercial feeling, you know. Maybe it's just like the vocal melodies or something that aren't quite like connecting with me. I like a little more melancholy in there, but it's nice. Like I'm sure lots of people would enjoy the song. I think the biggest improvement you can make is with the reverb. It sounds like you have these huge, like almost like black hole reverbs on everything. Like the guitar has it, the vocal has it. From what I can hear, the piano chords and stuff, they all have this reverb, and it's just building up, and it's just so much. I think if you took maybe one reverb, like one long reverb, and you put it on a send or a return, whatever you want to call it, and then EQ it so that you're taking out like a lot of that mid-range from it and the high end, so it's like a very clean reverb, and it's not like sitting on top of everything and building up so much.
Question mark.
You can then also like side chain like dry vocals to it and dry piano to it, so everything else is a bit more defined and like stands out a bit more. At the moment, everything's like really washy. Yeah, I think that's pretty much the only note I had. Otherwise, really nice. Ratus. Was it Tess? Oops. No. That SLID is me, by the way. Okay, cool.
Drifting away, moving apart, never stopping, never hoped it to start. Oh, now I'm feeling the space surrounding my heart.
natural state of allowing. My natural state of allowing. My natural state of allowing.
Yeeting myself through the K real quick kappa.
Just because I'm not doing anything doesn't mean I'm bored. I'm just creating space for what is still to come. The space where I can go deeper, deep into the sound. I don't need anything when I'm here, because it feels like home. It feels like the part of me I've always been searching for. The space between my body and my mind, where I just observe. A space where I can just be. Accepting what is and what isn't. My natural state of allowing.
Cool, some nice ideas in there. Kind of agree with what DJ Victor said about the clap. The clap is the issue with this clap is it's too loose. Like it's this like group hand clap with like lots of little transients in it. If you just take that same clap and cut off the beginning and the end and do like a really short fade on it, you get this really tight punchy clap. And maybe layer it with like a really short snare too. Like, I just love doing this with like 808 or 909 claps. So you just take the clap like this, which usually sounds like this, which is too long and too, it's not tight. So then you just take out the beginning, so you just have this. And then you can even fade out that reverb tail and get this really tight, punchy clap. You can tweak it and dial it in, but that turns out nicely. And then if you layer that with like a 909 snare, just to get that little bump in the lower end, and do like the same fade on it. Just to fill out the lower end a little bit. You get these really nice punchy claps. That's what I like to do. So the other thing was I really like this sound, this brrrr thing. It's a cool sound, but I think you're high passing it too much a lot of the time. Sometimes that high pass opens up and then it sounds really nice when it has a bit of the bottom end in it. But I think that should just be like the default, like never high passes, because it just sounds weird when it's high passed. It just sounds like some, I don't know, percussion sound or something. I really like the vocal in towards the end, like this whispery kind of vocal. That's cool. I'm not a huge fan of the other vocal. It's just not doing much for me. think. Yeah, the bass is nice. Kick sounds decent. I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, it's Vision 4X. It's this one. Okay. No need use span it free. Span is not the same as this. Span doesn't have the spectrogram in it or the waveform analyzer. Yeah, completely different. Okay. Who was next? Vibala. Epic monologue. Oh dear. It's just going to be spoken word stuff. Okay. The first thing that I noticed was like the waveform on this. Like if you look at this, it looks like you've got maybe a utility after your limiter or something, and you're automating the volume. I think it's much better if you put the volume automation, whatever you're using, before the limiter, because now you like have this track that's like lost its dynamics, or this breakdown that's lost its dynamics for no reason. Like you could just have a nice dynamic sounding mix through the breakdown if you just turn down the volume before the limiter, because now you can see how everything's like chopped off. I think maybe also this is a bit too squashed. So like I would turn down the hats a little bit. The offbeat hat is like really in your face and like sharp. I think just turning it down is the answer for that one. The bass, I think it's maybe a bit too pumpy. Like I think if you split your side chain into sub and like mids, side chain the mids less, so it's not so like pumpy. I don't know. Yeah. And maybe that bass can come down a little bit too in volume. I like the melody through this section is quite nice. I mean, overall, it's pretty decent. It was enjoyable. The actual like melodies and stuff are nice. Yeah, I think it's mostly just like letting the mix breathe a little and turning down that hi-hat to take away the harshness. Okay, who's next? Kenora. Kenora the Explorer. Okay, I don't think I'm going to listen through the full almost 9 minutes because it's just a bit too much, too long. I'm going to jump through this section a little bit quickly and then I'll give my feedback. Okay, so I think the big issue here is like it feels like there's too many different ideas through this track. Like instead of having like one strong core idea, it's like you've tried to just keep on adding stuff to find the feeling you're looking for. So like at least that's what I kind of get from the track. I don't know if you actually did that. In my opinion, the best part of the track is this breakdown. It's got like quite a nice emotion to that arpeggio, although the sound design is like a bit plain. I think I would like lean on that idea a bit more through the intro. The problem is that the rest of the track doesn't really fit this arp. When it comes back in here, it feels like they don't, like the two ideas don't really mesh together very well. Like this has got this like kind of, I don't know, melancholic, like Western kind of minor vibe to it. And then this section has, or both these sections have more of like a cheeky and like playful, like Eastern style to them. And the two styles just don't feel like they fit together on the same song very well. So like that's from a composition perspective. The mix down, I think the kick is kind of a bit too boxy, but it might be just because it's, I think, maybe a bit too loud. So I think just turning down the kick could help. If not, maybe scooping a little bit out of like the 200 hertz area around there could help a bit. I think also the hat on this was also really loud. Yeah, that shaker just feels a little bit too loud. Maybe bring that down a little bit too. But I think the main thing before you start worrying about the mix is to get a really strong core idea and like really build that out and like create a solid like story through the track. This just feels very like broken up into separate ideas that don't fit together very well, in my opinion. I think that's it. The hats sound different than when I play it here. How can that be? Yeah, that's why I always ask for downloads, because it might be because SoundCloud down samples to like 128 kilobyte MP3, I think. I don't know if they still do that. But I always remember that being a big issue years ago. Although I haven't really noticed it that much recently. And it also might be because it's coming through here and then through my streaming app, being streamed back to you through YouTube. I think that can affect the high end somewhat. Okay. Who's next? Okay, we have Melvkai. Dean, I go through all the donation links first before I go through the unpaid queue. So unless you tipped or donated, then I would not have done yours. Doesn't look like you did. Okay, I think the biggest problem here is you have some chords that are clashing harmonically. It sounds like it's in a different key, maybe to your bass line. See if I can find one of them. Why am I not hearing it now? I kept hearing it. I think it's on that chord. Yeah, here it is. Sounds like your bass is clashing with the chord. So I'm not sure what that is. You have to try and figure that out. And I think also just like your piano has too much low end in it, and it's all building up and getting muddy with the bass. Yeah, I think you really need to like clean up the low end and maybe turn down the sub and just let the kick shine a bit more. It all feels like very like loose and not side chained, and yeah, just needs to be tightened up. Yeah, I think the biggest thing though is fixing that harmonic clashing. And also I started like skipping through towards the end because it just felt like the track hasn't really gone anywhere. Like there's nothing new happening. Like this ARP that you have running in the background, I think that's something that you can like bring in and take away a lot more, because it kind of makes the track feel like it's just repeating the same thing when all I'm hearing is this like ARP throughout the whole track. That's maybe why it doesn't feel like it's really progressing. Yeah, I'm also not a fan of this clap. It's like quite dry, and I think just a nice, like dark clap would be good on this one. Like a percussive sounding clap. How big is the current queue? The current queue is 1, 2, 3 more people, but I am also stopping at probably about 3:10, which is in half an hour. and it's usually about almost 10 minutes per track. So yeah, I think I might turn off donations. Maybe we'll have time for one more. So after the next one, I'll turn it off. Okay. I think next up is Kalo. No, it's not. It's Real London, and then it's Kalo.
The number you have dialed is not available. Please leave your message after the beep.
Where to go?
Amazing. Love it. Really good, man. Really, really nice. I dig the vocal. I think the only thing you could improve on the vocal is like maybe find some really nice kind of short reverb to almost just like stylize the vocal rather than to be used for the purpose of adding like, you know, a long reverb tail to it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if I can find a reference right now. Let me quickly have a look. Comes to mind. Maybe like the Durante track. I think he does it in one of his. Does it Evaporate?
Rhythm in my chest, meeting with consciousness.
Yeah, in a way like this. I'm more talking about like a short like chamber kind of reverb, but also like in terms of like stylizing the vocal, making it feel a little like lo-fi almost would be good, instead of, at the moment it feels like quite, you know, like high quality and clean. I think, you know, a little bit of like overdrive on like the if you have like a mic preamp plugin, or just even any saturation kind of plugin might work nicely on there. Maybe some overdrive or something. And then like taking off a little bit of high end just to like dull it a little bit. That would sound cool, I think. And then the other thing I don't really like is the voicemail thing in the beginning. Where is it?
You have dialed is not available. Please leave your message after the beep.
Is that a South African voicemail? Please leave your message after the beep. Yeah, I would just remove that. I don't like it. But the rest of it is great. And the mix down sounds perfect to me. It's got a nice like heavy low end and nice and dynamic. Hats are sitting nicely. Everything sits nicely. The ending is kind of weird how it like just does this volume fade out. I'm sure you can end it more creatively. But that's not going to make or break the track. People don't care. Just nitpicking now. Anyway, great work. It's only been one session. Yeah, don't go changing it too much. Sometimes, like, the best tracks just happen in a few hours and you should just leave them. Don't start messing with them and like throwing tons of EQs and compressing them like crazy and stuff. Mostly people end up fucking it up. Oh, guys, please stop donating because I don't have time to do yours, Gustavo. That's why I turned off the other donations. Unfortunately, I can't turn off the YouTube ones. But thank you for the donation. Okay. Kalo's up next.
All right, all right.
Where's this person? Kalo. That's not how you spell strawberries, by the way. Okay, yeah, it's nicely mixed. Cool sounds. Yeah, just really well produced. Not really my style. Kind of reminds me of like hold music or like elevator music. Like it just doesn't give me any feeling. But that's just me. That's just a subjective opinion. So don't need to change anything because of that. Yeah, and you spelled strawberries wrong. That's the only feedback I really have for this. Well done on the production side. Where? Oh wait, you're on Twitch, weren't you? Oh, it's for one of your lo-fi aliases. Oh yeah, I guess lo-fi is probably a more appropriate word. Yeah, background music. Okay. Who is next? It's Shri. It's not actually the last tune, it's the second last tune. But I'm just putting it up so people stop donating. stream switch off? I was just watching YouTube and my screen went black. Yeah, let me resume. This is really good. Honestly, so far don't have any constructive feedback. Okay, it did drop. Yeah, really enjoying it so far. Sounds super solid. Actually, one thing I think you could maybe try is just shortening the kick a little bit. I just have a feeling this kick, it sounds alright, like for home listening, but I think with this long kick, it's gonna be pretty hectic on like a club system. And there's definitely clubs that you can play this music at. Like all day I dream kind of nights or days that they do. Just a nice groovy, or even like a poolside kind of vibe. But yeah, not like a 2 a.m. on ketamine raving on the dance floor. Okay, I think the last track is Krispy Kreme. And sorry, Gustavo, I just won't have time to get to yours. I can refund your donation if you just DM me. Krispy Kreme, where are you? No. Come on, don't let us down, Crispy. You're starting everybody's weekend. Pressure's on. And where is your song? Blue vinyl record image. Okay. That, not that. This one? Oh. kick sounds like it's pitched up like an octave too high. Okay, the biggest thing here is these drops are like the reverse of what they should be. Like before the drop, you have this nice big heavy sub, and then it just drops into like no sub. The kick has no low end in it. It's just like a huge anticlimax. So I think like that kick sounds to me like maybe you placed it an octave too high. Like if you're using a piano roll, maybe you put it at C4 instead of C3. I don't know. Maybe that kick just is really high, but it's like, yeah. I didn't even look at it on this spectrogram. Yeah, it looks like the kick is just barely reaching like 70 hertz, where like most kicks are probably hitting 50 hertz, maybe like at a push 60 hertz, like for the really weak ones. But yeah, I think just pitch that kick down or find a new one, and then that drop needs to have like some weight to it. So people won't dance to this. It'll just like fall completely flat. But otherwise, like the musicality of it is quite nice. I like this stab that repeats through. It's like has a nice tonality to it, but it feels like a bit too repetitive because it's just feels looped throughout the whole track. So I think you could add movement to it through like automating like different delays on it, or filtering it in and out a bit, just changing it so it feels a bit more played and not just looped. And the other thing was the breakdown just feels too long. I think you could make it half the length of what it is. I kind of wanted to skip through it. Nothing really exciting happening in here. You could probably make this section here half of what it is, and this section here half of the length of what it is. And yeah, that should work. And the build-up could also probably be half the length. Okay, I think that was it. Okay, cool, guys. Hope you have a good weekend. Thanks for watching. And I'll see you all around. Goodbye.